got to improve very quickly.
Is that almost not say perfect situation, but that cornerback, you got 3 seniors, and then the Tevez and Jamerson, and then behind them the young corners you brought in just from that stepping stone.
Well, all of them, even Tevez and Jamerson, are still young. You know what I mean? And they, so it is great to have that guys that play. One of the great things as a young player, if you can watch or learn from an older player, that's a fantastic thing for you. You know what I mean? One of the hardest thing is for coaches to explain how they want it done, and you have to go do it. Coaches explain how he wants it done. I mean, I'm not talking about sitting in a stance sometimes, but that's part of it. That's part of it. I'm talking the whole picture, running on and off the field, your demeanor, how you look. It's easy to tell somebody to do it, and then if you hear a coach tell you how to do it, and then you watch a guy that has done it and performed at the highest level, and you can see them actually do it, I think it helps in learning.
After the spring, and then obviously what you're singling out Darius Slay today, I'm sure it wouldn't upset you guys at all to have Banks and Slay on the field and being able to have Broomfield there at safety as well.
Much like O-line, you want to get the best guys on the field. In nickel situations, obviously, for us, it allows you to do that more, and we'll play a lot of nickel in games that you play this year. But also in our regular first down, we got to find a way to, if we think those are the top 4 guys, which, you would right now think they're the top 4 guys. You want to make sure you can get them on the field. Again, there's still a long training camp to see who else really steps up, where if it's even, then you don't have to force that.
What's made Slay so deadly here, in the spring?
I just think, he's... I think he always had it in him. He's a tremendous athlete, tremendous physical player. And I think what's changed is he learned technique. He learned what to do and how to do it and why we do it. And I think in the season last year, he was trying to figure it all out. And, I think he would have... I think he could have been a much bigger impact player if we'd gotten him earlier. If he'd been able to go through a spring before the season. He could have been an even bigger impact guy last year.
Because you normally will play 2 or 3 freshmen, the true freshman year. Do you see that number going up this year at all?
I do. I see us playing probably a couple more than that, but that's a pure guesstimate at this point. And who they are, I have no idea. I think in fact we have 27 juniors and seniors right now. That's about right on the team. So, we're going to need some young guys that are going to have to play for us. So, but I would picture, I guess, numbers-wise, when you look at balancing out your classes, numbers of guys on scholarship in each class, I think it numbers-wise would balance out to play about 5 this year or 6. But we're not going to play them unless they're ready.
It's because you had a little bit larger signing class than normal, maybe, for reason.
No. What did we end up signing class?
It was 28, we had 2 leaves, so.
And two academic, 2 we didn't think academically. So 24, that is still a big class.
Yeah.
You look at it, if everybody redshirts over a 5-year span, you should be looking around, I guess you're guessing around 18 to 20 to be a normal signing class. So that probably helps it, but again, it's all judged on who's ready to go on the field. We're not going to put guys on the field until they're ready to play.
I would assume with the back 4 being so experienced and ready to play that you can be more aggressive rushing the passer, because with Chris Wilson talking about that being a marriage, the combination of the 2.
Well, you do. If you can hold up, you can in the secondary, you'll get more pressure. Even if they're covering longer, you have more time for the front 4 to get pressure. Or, if you have confidence in those guys, you can really come after people. So
is that more of a byproduct, or can you scheme a little bit differently with that kind of experience?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
A little bit of both. And obviously, anytime in any scheme, you want to take your talented players and highlight the strength of your talents. The strengths of the players, of the talents that the players have, and you want to kind of try to emphasize that within your scheme.
Looking at Robinson and Milton, they've got a plan to get Dak on the field at quarterback. What kind of plan can you have to get those 2 younger guys on the field with Darius and Nick probably get so many carries?
Semi. The way we did it last year, Greg Knox just kind of rolls those guys through, and you know, every once in a while I want to see a certain guy run a certain play, so he'll get yelled and screamed at by me when he has the wrong guy on the field, but I don't always let him know that before that happens, so I just yell at him afterwards. How did you, I wanted this guy to run that play. What are you doing, Greg? No, I think he'll just kind of roll those guys through. You know, very much a couple years ago, how we started the season before Vic Ballard emerged. We're going to roll guys through to see who's kind of that guy that's going to stand out.
Josh said the other day that, you know, there's been a lot of talk about y'all going more to the pass, and he's like, well, you know, MSU, it starts with the run, so he's expecting y'all still obviously that to be a big role. Maybe people kind of forget about that.
I do. I mean, to me, ideally, I want to be 50-50,
Yeah.
you know, and, you know, I guess if you're 50-50, you're probably heavy passer a little bit. I think last year we were probably a little bit heavier run. You run 70 plays in a game. If you're 50-50, that's 35-35. That would be a lot of passes, maybe, to some people, and to other offenses less. And you know, some offenses that'd be a lot of runs, to other offenses less. But I mean, to me, I'd love to be. You know, we come out at the end of the season and we are 50-50, 51-49. I'm going to be pretty happy.
Just looking at Josh Robinson, the guy's chest is humongous. And he's just so short, and you know, Les King was saying yesterday he doesn't have like a lot of tackle space. Like you can't really tackle him. What makes it a little bit different than some of these backs that are on the team?
It is, and you know what? He has a low center of gravity, so he runs low, and then he, you know, which decreases his tackle surface. And he looks chunky, but he's actually, I mean, it's all muscle. I mean,
Right.
it is. I mean, you know, he's got the big butt. It's all muscle. I mean, you look at his. It looks like he's got a belly on him.
Yeah.
But if you tap it, I mean, it's like hitting the table. So he's like a ball of muscle, and you know, and he has a good attitude. And what I mean by that, maybe like a Dixon had with the personality. You know, he's always kind of bubbly and excited and wanting to play the game. A high energy guy, and it kind of makes him fun to be around.
That fight just for him, kind of, he's got to learn which way to go sometimes.
Well, that's it, and
Work
learn
on
the
blocking.
mental toughness of the game. You know, I mean, when it gets hot outside, and you know of that, and I think that is all of a product that becomes a product for him of maturity, not a product of he doesn't want to do it, a product of understanding how to push himself to get the job done, and how to be mentally strong.
You know, Ladarius was saying that he sees some similarities personality-wise between Anthony and Josh, and just a guy that's just always in that fifth gear kind of.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's just that fun and excitement, you know, and that's why, you know, one thing Anthony, and that's when he left, you missed it. Not that Anthony in leadership on the field. I know he had some issues in other parts, but on the field was always a tremendous leader because he just loved to play the game so much. You know that, I mean, Anthony would be a guy that he'd rather be at a practice than do anything else, and. You know, Josh has that same kind of energy when he's on the field. He's always kind of hyper and jumping around. Two-a-days sometimes, though, like the tank will get empty and then he'll stop jumping around so much. But I mean, but his general personality's that way, and that's where they're very similar. Where if you take a Vic Ballard last year, he's kind of a business. They're kind of more hyped up, and they don't stop talking and all that stuff.